community. It's difficult for me to think about advancement and innovation in this field without thinking about Mary. When we all began working to improve care for the dying in this country, we were facing challenges that seemed insurmountable. During those dawning yet hopeful days, there was a woman whose courage, passion, and dedication inspired many of us, Mary Labyak. This evening, we're proud to honor Mary, a colleague, a mentor, leader, and a dear friend to many of us in this room. A social worker by training and a patient advocate by nature and by heart, Mary began her work in end-of-life care in 1977 as one of the volunteers for a small fledgling hospice. Since 1980, she has served as its leader, transforming it from a small, typical hospice to Suncoast Hospice. And while the list of Mary's national leadership roles is as impressive as anybody that I know, it was her leadership skills in caring for the entire Shivo-Schindler family, and especially Terry Shivo, that inspired a nation. While protesters and the media were camped outside her hospice and she was receiving threats on a daily basis, never once did Mary lose focus on the most important role of every hospice leader: to safeguard and nurture the sacred trust we have with our patients and their families, each and every one of them, without exception. Never before have I seen such grace under fire. We are also blessed that Terry Shivo was cared for by Suncoast Hospice, and we are also fortunate that Mary has made hospice her life's work. Please join me in welcoming Mary Labyak to the stage. We're not done yet. I love you as many people. Okay, I'll wait for you when you're done.
Oh my, thank you, everybody, and to Don and to Mary Ellen. I am simply overwhelmed, and I really accept this award with a great sense of honor and humility. And I must say, I accept it for all of you who do hospice all of the time, but more so for the millions and millions of people that we've all cared for, who through these years have taught us how to do hospice. They are the real heroes in all of this. We always believed that our hospice didn't exist to be simply a provider of the hospice Medicare benefit. We believed that we existed to change the world, at least in our little community, and to change the context of dying. Don always jokes about my seeing the world in circles, and I think that has been a foundation of our hospice, to constantly be out there asking people, what do you need from us next, and then to find a way to build that for them. But like you, to always, always put the patient and the family at the center of what we do, and never lose sight of why we exist. And that isn't for Medicare, for regulations, for the bottom line. It is to ease the suffering of patients and families, and may they always be at the center of our attention. Who would have ever dreamt that this little girl from a strange town called Ontonagon, Michigan, would ever have the opportunity to do those kinds of things that make a difference in the world. And I have all of that debt of gratitude that I owe to NHPCO for giving me and many of us the opportunity to be those kinds of change agents. And thirdly, I stand here tonight in a very different capacity, and that is for the last year and a half, I myself have been battling cancer with some recurrences. I have to say something about one of the things that I have learned in the last year and a half or so, and that really has to do with suffering. One thing I didn't understand personally is that they about have to kill you in order to cure you with chemotherapy. I've never been sick a day from my illness, but I've been mighty sick from the treatment to eradicate that illness. But more importantly, I have sat in those chemo rooms, in the radiation rooms, and I have watched immense human suffering. And I want to say to you tonight, if all of us in hospice have a conscience, we cannot be satisfied to only minister to people at the very end of their life. We have a responsibility with what we know. We have a responsibility with the resources that we have to find a way to get involved in people's lives much earlier in the course of their illness. Help them not only with their pain and suffering physically, but with living their life better. If they go on to be cured, how wonderful. If they don't, by the time they come to us at hospice, they will already be our friends. The other thing I realized in this is that I really did not have a list of unfinished business. I did not have a list of things I wanted to do in my life yet. I had done them. Let me say a couple of things to everybody in this room about those wonderful gifts that we give to hospice. I think it's so appropriate whenever a big group of us are together to remind ourselves of the greatest gift of hospice to all of us, and that life is precious, life is short, and life is finite for all of us. As we say in our program, every day is a gift. And when we gather together like this, what a wonderful time to remember to tell each other how much we care about each other, and to remember to tell the people that you love and care for in your personal lives, that you do love them and that you care for them before the time is too short to be doing so. I also think if you really want to pay tribute to me and to others who will be honored tonight, that the real way to do it is for every single person in this room who's involved in hospice to recommit themselves and to maybe promise to push a little bit more to reach out to those suffering people that right now we're not able to reach out to. And if you're not involved in hospice, we invite you to get involved in some way. As Senator Gates said, the world is a better place for all of us to live and all of us to die because we have done the work of hospice. And if you're not involved in hospice, I promise you, if you become involved, your life will change forever, as mine did. To be able to devote your life to something that is a cause, a purpose that gives meaning to your life, I can't imagine what greater gift for any of us. I thank you again for this most overdone tribute to me, and I simply feel blessed to have been a part of hospice all of these years. I feel blessed to be on the journey that I'm on at this point, and blessed to work with all of you and with Don and all of the wonderful people at NHPCO. I thank you for this gift.
Perfect.
Now,
Perfect. Let's let